Curlew Country is the leading low-ground curlew recovery project in the UK. Each year, an important group of about 35 breeding pairs of curlew return to our landscape to try and breed. And it's a significant group because it's one of only a handful of groups of this size remaining outside the upland and moorland areas. And in the first 3 years of the project, we've worked out why they're failing to breed, and we've taken action to try and help to save them.
I love curlews. In fact, I love curlews so much that in April and May in 2016, I walked 500 miles just for them. I set off on the west coast of Ireland, walked through Ireland, through Wales, right through the centre of England, and I ended up in the Wash about 6 weeks later. I wanted to go to the places where curlews still are, where they're still singing over the hills and the meadows. I also wanted to visit the places where they've gone, where they should be, but their songs are no longer heard. I wanted to talk to the people that work with them. I wanted to talk to farmers, to bird watchers, to conservationists, to artists, to poets, anybody that loved curlews. And one of the very best projects I came across was Curlew Country, covering the Shropshire Hills and the Welsh marches around. It was such a lovely project. It involved scientists, but also all the local communities, the local villagers. It involved bird watchers and farmers. Everybody was coming together and working together, all from their own different perspectives, because everybody was really proud that they had the birds still nesting in their fields. They had a curlew weekend, and I was lucky enough to land in this place just when all the activities were going on. They were making curlew lanterns, singing curlew songs. It was a beautiful project, full of really great people, and I think that's one of the big important things about the future, getting local communities to love and treasure their birds, and then we can bring them back.
Say, bleak hill, I heard a curlew call, over the ancient land, over the ancient land, bubbling curlew, whistler whirring, bubbling curlew, whistler whirring, scarce survivor, over the ancient land.
Tony Cross, the Curlew Country ornithologist, is an award winner for his work in saving other bird species in the UK threatened with extinction.
So in the first 2 years of the project we monitored 33 nests and very depressingly for everybody we didn't have a single chick fledge at the end of that. That was because most of the nests got predated by foxes and some by badgers. So in this third year we monitored another 22 nests, but with conservation management in place this time we managed to increase hatching success to over 50%, and at the end of the season we actually managed to successfully fledge some chicks, which is great, a good message for everybody involved. So we've got to build on that success, we've got to roll it out over a number of years and give the local curlew population a real chance of long-term survival.
This project, which works at the heart of the local community, starts with our farmers, and the project was designed so that we could listen to them and work with them, because without them very little could be achieved.
It would be awful if my children never heard or saw the curlews. No, I think it's great that we've got the farming steering group together. So we need to keep the momentum of the Curlew Country project going and build on the fantastic work that we've already done. That's it.
The Pinches family have farmed in the Curlew Country landscape for many generations.
Well, I think it would be such a shame to lose them. They're as iconic. The sound of the first curlew is like as iconic as the sound of the first cuckoo. When you go in and you comment, "Oh, I've heard a curlew today," and it's just part of the countryside calendar, isn't it?
It is, yeah. When there was talk of them, sort of, we were losing them. I didn't think we were to start really, and then all of a sudden, the last few years. It's like as if they really have took a tumble.
Bob and Jill Jarman farm in Wales and approached us at the very beginning of the project.
Obviously having the curlew here is the first sign of spring, We're very, very privileged to have them here, and obviously get excited looking for them. And once you hear it, you just stop what you're doing in your tracks and enjoy it, because you don't know whether you're going to actually see it again. A few years ago, we had no curlew, sadly. Last year, due to Curlew Country intervening, we managed to keep our nest safe, and we put an electric fence around it to stop predation. And then the eggs actually hatched, which was it was phenomenal. It was magical. And then moving on to this year, thanks to Curlew Country and their great success, 3 curlew chicks have fledged in this area. It's vitally important now that we take the steps to continue with Curlew Country, because we obviously want this to happen for years to come, for our future generations to be able to enjoy the curlew as much as we do. And without Curlew Country, we just couldn't possibly do that.
The farming fraternity love the animals and the birds. To see the curlew go would be tragic beyond belief, because they're such an iconic bird.
When I started as a trainee with the Stuyvesant and Cornwall Landscape Partnership Scheme, I didn't really know that I was going to be working very much with Curlew Country. It's been really interesting being involved in the process and seeing everything that goes on with it, and just how long and how hard people have to work to find nests, and how much disappointment you have to go through seeing nests that you found then be predated so quickly. It's been exciting being involved this year in particular, because we've actually seen some chicks and successfully, fingers crossed, had some fledging, and hopefully they'll come back in years to come.
I've been one of the volunteers going out looking for curlews. People started off thinking, that there was a reasonably healthy curlew population around here, and I think now everybody living around here is fully aware of the situation, that we are actually still incredibly privileged to even have 2 pairs left in this area.
I've had the good fortune to work in international conservation, especially on conservation of wetlands and wader habitats, curlew habitats. We've been very happy to see what goes on in the Curlew Country project in Shropshire, where they are much more advanced than we are in links with local farmers, local communities, looking after the birds as they nest on the ground, and we'd very much like to be able to do the same sort of things that Curlew Country are doing in our part of the world, as I'm sure lots of other people in southern England would like to do.
Curlew Country is pragmatic and it's dynamic, it's locally led, and it's producing results in just a handful of years. That has to be good news for curlews of Shropshire and the Welsh Marches. It's not just a local project, it's linked in nationally and collaborating internationally. From the 500-mile walk that I did right the way through the United Kingdom, it was by far the best lowland curlew project I came across, and I wish it every success. It may seem like a hopeless situation, it may seem like these birds are slipping away, but it is something we can do something about. It is reversible, we can bring curlews back.
In the next phase of the project, we need to continue our important curlew recovery work. We also need to find out what curlew need to be sustainable in the longer term. Please help us in the race against time to save these beautiful birds.